Good evening. I'm not sure if we're live yet. I'm having a couple of technical difficulties with internet in our area. It might also be something to do with that it's raining too. So first of all, I want to get into talking a little bit about what's happening astrologically at the moment because it is currently the 8th of October here in Melbourne, and I've just saved a few things to my phone just to go over with you all because it is a doozy of a month, as we were saying last week. So we have from September 9th until November 13th, we have Mars in retrograde, which is about like anger that might be like internally like repressed coming up. So it might be like about finding new ways to kind of like express it. So if we think about a retrograde, hi Elma. If we think about, retrograde, so we're talking about Mars in retrograde here, and we're also going to be in Mercury in retrograde soon too. So what a retrograde means is a planet will have a natural flow and a line of travel. So when a retrograde happens, it means it's sort of going back. So sometimes we talk about, one step forward, two steps back. Hi Stephanie, hi Naomi. Good to see you all on here. Hi Samantha. I'm talking about Mars in retrograde at the moment. So it will end its cycle on November 13th. It's about expecting delays. It's also some things can take a little bit of struggle to take action. So it could feel like a little bit frustrating with that Mars in retrograde energy at the moment. So if everyone sort of like has patience, tries to keep a cool level head about things, if things are delaying, just sort of knowing that there could be a reason for it and things can be coming to the surface. Because Mars is kind of like a more masculine planet. It's often referred to as the planet of war. It's also sometimes like that planet of taking action. So it's the opposite to like that Venus soft, flowy energy. The other things that we're dealing with at the moment are, so we're heading into Mercury retrograde. So we're currently in the shadow of Mercury retrograde. So Mercury will go into retrograde on the 13th of October. So what this means is sometimes we can have electrical issues, computer malfunctions, things with technology, more prone to accidents, things like that. So we're in the shadow. So the shadow period is the 2 weeks before. So I've already had a couple of Mercury retrograde moments. I bumped my head the other day just on the door of my car. The wind blew it shut. I burnt my hand on a pot. I'm like, all right, Mercury retrograde's energy is telling me just to calm down and just to, kind of take things one day at a time, just pace by pace. So we will be answering questions soon, just because it is such an important month astrologically and such a doozy. I just want to get in and try and cover as much as I can for everyone so that everyone kind of feels included just to start out with. So we'll be going direct with Mercury, which means it'll be coming out of shadow and in alignment back into its normal placement on the US election day. So that will be the 3rd of November. Now, there's some other weird planetary alignments that we could expect to see some delays and things in terms of like actually knowing who the presidential outcome will be in the States too. So just sort of like holding tight and preparing for, some interesting times, some like waves to be made. So we will be heading also into, Venus will enter Libra, which is a sign that it loves, on October 27th. Right now we do have, let me just get back to this. So right now we also have Venus in Virgo, October the 2nd through to October the 28th. So it's not sort of like in its highest point. It is much better when it's in Libra. So this is about like acts of service. It's really about like getting to the quality of things. So it's not just about like having something around just for the sake of having something around. So it's really like let go of what you can't change. It's really not a time for like arguments and things either. So really just like trying to keep cool, trying to keep the calm. Mercury retrograde is also knowing that, and Spirit is just saying it's like the crap taking itself out. So it's like, it's sort of like I guess the unwanted things in life is a nicer way to put, removing itself from your life. So we do have a little bit of that. It is quite an intellectual alignment as well, meaning like try not to get into your head about things. Really try and sort of like get to the heart. Use the energy to go within and reflect. So Naomi's saying, I'm feeling so good since the full moon last week. So we had full moon in Aries. Being a Libra, I'm loving the energy at the moment. You would too, because it's your birth month, it looks like, or it could possibly be. So let's do some cards quickly. We've got some jumping out just to do with the next coming week. And we're just picking these now. All right, so what do we need to be aware of for the coming week? And I've also got some new decks to work with. So one of these cards has come face up. So here's my cards right here. So you can see one's already up. So going into the week, I feel that there is a lot of energy kind of like catapulting us. So we've got this, which is a Chariot card. We've got the Prince of Swords, and he's sort of in that armor of that heart color. So there could possibly be like a little bit of armor up around the heart chakra at the moment. We also have this beautiful icosahedron, which this is a shape related to manifesting, but because it's encircled in this green sort of like heart color energy and a circle. So an icosahedron is a shape that we'll use to manifest ideas, manifest and put things into action. So at the moment, it really is about like thinking what we want to put into action. What's interesting though, with the Mercury retrograde, it usually is kind of about sitting on things. It's not really a time to start business. It's not really a time to sign contracts, things like this. So we're just starting with the general reading to try and cover things for most people. The other thing too is this is also representing taking charge in your life. So if there's different areas, like say you need to do like a cleanup, or you maybe like need to get some tax return stuff sorted, or like, you know, other areas of life sorted out, or even just sort of time for yourself. Now is the time to kind of like throw energy into this. So this is about throwing energy into the things that you can control. It's about starting to work on your dreams and starting to work on your visions. So we will be having, let me just double check. I think it was a Libra new moon is coming up. Let me just find this. Yeah, so new moon in Libra, we've got on the 16th. So a new moon is a time to kind of like make wishes. Libra is about balance. It's about like kind of weighing up decisions and things. So let's have a look midweek. All right, so I'm seeing things go sort of like orange to blue, and I feel that it's sort of like getting a bit more of like a fiery kind of like heat to the energy. I'm sensing sort of like Mars, like Pluto energy around, and I feel that it's sort of going like this around head. So whether you feel like you're sort of getting your energy swept up and stuck in the head, it really is to kind of like bring it back down, do things that are going to pull you back into body, back into kind of like feeling in senses. Because what I'm feeling at the moment, it's almost like, you know, when you get distracted and you daydream and it's like, oh, I forgot like what I was focused on. And that's me, like, you know, ADD. But this is like a real reminder to, you know, to bring yourself back, to catch your mind when you feel like you're wandering, to use this time for like purpose. So we'll flip this card. Oh, this is interesting. So we were talking about those planets. So one of those orangey colored planets that I see too is often Jupiter. So we have this card of wealth. So this is really using that time to kind of like focus on all those different areas, starting to daydream and starting to like vision what it is that you want to feel and what you want to manifest and have happen. Although that I feel like this is sort of like a little bit dormant, I do feel that this is getting towards, so what date are we today? We're on the 8th. So this will come right in alignment with sort of just before the end of next week. So this will be around the time of manifesting. So new moon is a good time to start to work on manifesting too. So we've got this happening right before the new moon, which is in Libra. So Libra is also a sign to do with like art and beauty and balance. Sometimes we can feel sort of like that we're trying to weigh up options and things. Oh, a couple of people are saying that that it's freezing. I'm sorry, my internet is not the strongest right now. Let's also just see what we get towards the end of next week. All right, so what I'm actually feeling towards the end of next week, so this will be coming to around the time of the new moon. I'm seeing and feeling what feels to be almost like a little bit of seasickness. So it might have felt like you've been on a journey and something might be feeling like it's coming to the surface, or some emotion starting to build. So just pay attention to that. The other thing too is that it could also be around, because I'm seeing like writing things down and burning. So this could also indicate the need to release things before carrying it on into the new moon. So let's flip this. Yeah. So there might be some heartache and things to release around going through the new moon. So see the new moon as kind of like a clear cut walk through the fire type energy. So you can see this heart in the center. We also have Libra coming up and the sun. So remember we talked about Libra new moon. So this is really like right on the new moon for next week too. Okay, so just to recap in case anyone missed it, we started out with this for the next couple of days. Then we've got sort of midweek right before the new moon in Libra, and then we've got this right on the new moon. We've got this card of ruin. So this is about writing down things that you need to release and burn, and sort of sending that out into the ashes right beforehand. So I do have a new deck of cards that we will pick to see what we're working with. All right, so they're telling me one out of my deck. So we've got my deck, which is on my website, and we will then get to some questions as well tonight. All right. Oops, and we've got cards jumping out. Harmony. So we have the card of harmony. So it says, oh, this is so in tune with coming up to the end of next week and coming up to the release to do with the new moon. It says, clear and release clutter and emotions that could be blocking you from experiencing more harmony. Also light candles, burn some oils to lift the vibration. Candle. And I just had some new oils delivered today by my gorgeous friend. So I've got jasmine, which is like the one for the heart. This is also a great oil for, connecting you to do with source and universal energy. And it smells so divine. It literally smells like you're in the heavens. I've also got spearmint. So spearmint is another oil that is connected to do with throat chakra. It helps you to kind of like get in tune on an intuitional psychic level as well with your voice, and help to kind of integrate it all. And it just smells amazing. So the other deck we are using tonight is Work Your Light Oracle deck. So I just bought this one, just came yesterday. These ones I bought on Amazon. So let's just pick a couple of cards. All right, so what do we need to know going into next week? And this is just for everyone at the moment. All right, so even as I'm shuffling, I'm just getting spirit taking a very deep breath and being very, very connected on a body level. They're saying to pay attention to things going on around us, to use all of our keen senses as well, is also what I'm hearing. So let's flip this. We've got 3 cards. These ones I read differently, so we'll just flip these straight out. All right, so the ever unfolding rose cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. So this card is sort of like, letting that heart chakra open up wide. It's also knowing sometimes that things happen. I guess we don't always have control over things. So sometimes it might seem like something is, like a little bit cruel, or perhaps like we don't want that outcome. But knowing that obstacles and things that are no longer needed in our path are being removed and are being released. And we also had Kali show up, who is the divine mother goddess, going back maybe about a month ago. So we did have her show up in order to kind of clear out the things that are kind of restricting us and holding us back. So we also have the card of no, wait, postpone, and pause and say no. So this is also to do with that Mercury retrograde energy as well. So this is about, just cooling it for a little bit and just perhaps being patient and waiting. It's a time to sometimes catch up with an old friend. It is a time for lovers to appear from the past. We also have you're already doing it. Stop overthinking it and keep facing your true north. So if we add these cards together, we're really being told to kind of like open that heart chakra. And this is even if we've been, hurt, or feel like, we've had to suppress our heart in a certain way, thinking of this as something to like triumph over. So letting that heart chakra open, and helping that align and come into alignment to do with your higher self as well, is what we've got for this week coming, which makes sense. Like, we're in the month of Libra. We're starting to work with these Venus energies as well. So let's pick some cards for people. I'll just go through and have a look. All right, so Carly Mills, let's pick a card for you. So you said that you would like insight on the best way to move forward with career at the moment. All right, so what I'm actually seeing, like as we start to tune into your energy, is I'm starting to see some yellow around you, which usually spirits sends that kind of yellow. I'm also seeing it like a green halo around your head in your aura. So what this speaks to me is possibly like some new study or learning. Sometimes with this tint of yellow that they're showing me, it can be specific to do with sort of like a self-inquiry or self-help books. With the green halo that's coming with it, this usually denotes something that's connected to do with the heart chakra, or something that you're thinking about that feels like that you're following your heart or listening to your heart. So let's have a look on that. We're asking for a card. Okay. And I've also got some other decks coming this week. So we'll have, I think, about 4 more decks that we can play with. This deck I'm working with currently I've had for about 20 years. So, all right, so Carly, we're just looking at this. So the other thing I'm seeing around you at the moment is I'm seeing a white cat and I'm seeing a couple of other animals. I feel like that you are the sort of person that animals are drawn to. So I'm not sure whether you've thought about working with animals, but I feel that your heart is very connected to do with things around care. So whether it's like nursing, whether it's like veterinary stuff, things that are kind of like taking care of people, you have a natural gift and an ability to work with. So I'm not sure if you've thought about possibly doing some study around that, or possibly like changing into this or moving forward around this area. But they're just showing me you're very empathic. You have a lot of like heart energy, and people feel comforted by you. You tend to make people feel better just from being in the room. So we'll flip this card. So we have the card of the devil here as well. I feel like this is perhaps you tripping yourself up a little bit, because what I actually feel when I look into your aura drawing and when I look in, tune into your energies, is I'm seeing the positive things, and I'm seeing the things that you sort of like are naturally gifted with. But I feel that this is you kind of like stalling or holding back, or possibly like like negative self-thoughts and things might be holding you back a little bit too. Or it could be like a little bit of fear around, we do have sort of that Capricorn goat energy too, which they're quite high achievers. So it could be possibly like fear of taking that next step or not realizing your worth. So just look if there's anything like that going on at the moment. Okay, so I'm just going to see where spirit takes me next. Oh, Naomi's saying she loves her oils too. Okay, so Yolanda Hernandez, what kind of man do you see me with in the future? Is his sign or element? So the first thing that I saw, even before I read the sign or element, I just got shown a green emerald. So I'm seeing something around a green emerald, and I'm seeing someone play with it like on their chest, which is over their heart. So let me just tune in and see what else we have. So this person, I feel, has kind of like a natural intuition. I feel that they sort of like manifest and work. They've got a couple of different signs actually that they're working with in terms of like elements and in terms of like zodiac energies. So what I'm sort of seeing is there is a little bit of earth, but I'm also seeing air to do with them too. But something about an emerald, it could be that they're connected to do with Thoth, or to do with the emerald tablets, or that there's something around an emerald, or even a green stone. Sometimes spirit will show me a green stone when it's connected to do with emerald too. So having a look out for that. The other thing that I'm sort of seeing is a little bit of kind of nervous energy. So this could be someone that is around you, that perhaps has feelings for you, that's a little bit shy or a little bit nervous in expressing this. So paying attention to that kind of energy too. And let's also see what else we have with that. Okay. The other thing that I'm seeing too coming from you is I'm seeing like a lot of yellow, and I'm seeing it's like, I want this and I want that. And that's really good. But they're talking about bring it into alignment with yourself, pull it into your heart. Because I'm feeling that when you're manifesting it, it's still out here at the moment and it's being projected into the future. So really bringing it in, anchoring it, maybe even like, putting a crystal on your chest and sort of like holding it and feeling that energy that you wish to feel from that partner. So let's flip this. We do have the card of gain, and look at this, it's very dominated by that emerald color too. So pay attention to emerald. Perhaps even looking up the meaning of the color emerald on a spiritual level might also give you a little bit of an indication. Usually green is the color of heart energy. With this, I'm also seeing it as sort of like a little bit of an earthy sign, but I feel that there's a little bit of air. So they could have possibly like an earth sign like Taurus or something like that. But they could have like air as well. So let's have a look, like air as an ascendant. Let's see. Okay, so we've got Yvonne Clapman Toolhill. Evening, Solreta. Relationship, if you are drawn to me, blessings. Sure. Okay. I'm just hearing spirit as I'm shuffling the cards. They're saying paying attention to your own wisdom. I feel like you ignore your wisdom is what they're showing me. So I'm just going to bring out this card here that was jumping out. I just feel like your guides are trying to talk to you, or whether you've had like messages or, possibly things kind of like, like hearing a bump in the middle of the night or hearing things sort of go thud. I'm feeling that sort of energy that someone is trying to get a message through to you. So in regards to relationships, what I'm sort of feeling is a little sensation in my hand when I kind of put my hand over the card. It makes me kind of want to pull back from this card. And I'm sort of like, it's like putting your toe in the water, then taking it back out. There's some kind of like indecision or fear to jump in. So clearing up anything around emotional things that could be holding you back from seeking that love, or clearing blocks around like worthiness, things like that will help to get you into that swimming pool and heat the water up and get you in on a deeper level. So we'll flip the card. Yeah, victory. So when you do like work on that side of things first, we get the card of victory. And this is a much higher spiritual level with this beautiful violet background. Look at the fire of everything coming into alignment. So when you clear the blocks, you're able to open that pathway for alignment to line up a lot more. And we also have the card of Leo, and Jupiter energy as well. So this is about kind of like leadership and expansion. It's really about like you calling it in and you like bringing it in and owning it. I feel like it's that that kind of like dance move where you're like bringing it down and you're sort of like activating it. It has a little bit of that. So Marie Reed, will I heal my past relationship? Let's have a look. This is interesting, Marie. So what I'm being shown is the image of the sun right now, and I'm sort of seeing like what looks to be an eclipse. And what the spirit is saying to me is, it feels like there's sort of like an eclipse come across the sun right now. And what I'm actually seeing is, spirit is saying to me that the sun is whole, but sometimes an eclipse, which represents that moon is about emotions, it's connected to cycles and times and things. Sometimes you'll have that moon eclipse the sun, but it never actually stops the sun from shining. It's just sort of temporarily blocked. Spirit is saying to look at things in regards to your relationship in that way. Try not to think about it as a scar, is what they're saying. They're talking about things can be healed. So always seeking professional help if you wish to kind of like upgrade a little bit sooner. And if we think about it in terms of like, we upgrade our phones, we upgrade our computers, why not upgrade our skills in terms of like dealing with relationships and dealing with life? Like invest in ourselves is the best kind of investment that you can do, because it will spread to all different areas too. And it will also help to clear that eclipse that I'm seeing in relation to this. So let's see. I do feel that this person that you were connected with in the past had quite more of like an ego around them, possibly even a little bit narcissistic or perhaps manipulative. Could be that energy of why I'm seeing that sun sort of like in a negative detriment is what they're sort of showing at the moment. So I'm just picking a card. So this is healing around relationships. Yeah, I'm getting like a lot of self-inquiry energy coming up with this. So really getting to the heart of the matter. I do feel that like having a therapist rather than a friend, because I'm like, do we need to bring a friend in? Like, how can we sort of like talk this out? How can we work with it? So what I saw with this was actually talking to a therapist to kind of dive deeper, because I feel that when you start to dive into that relationship, patterns from the past start to unfold. And what I mean is like, it might be like family patterns, that could be like early adolescence or childhood patterns around love and around what is acceptable. So let's flip this card. Yeah, this is about getting your power back. And look at the sun. It's not in eclipse anymore. You're sitting in front of the sun like the Queen of Wands should be. And you have your card of protection. So this is to know that you will be able to heal from this and move on, but it will take some work. Because I feel right now that, you know, underneath all of this beautiful kind of like armor and beautiful dress and everything, the Queen actually, what makes her regal is that power, that ownership, and that's what you need to bring down. But start to play with the idea of putting on, you know, the costumes and feeling the role of the Queen. But you can see this total sun energy is just so magnificent in this card. On her wand is the pine cone, which represents that pineal gland too. Oh, don't know if you can hear that. That was my cat sneeze in the background. So Sally French, what is my future? Let's have a look. Oh, we just had a card jump out and it's come face up, so I'm going to flip this. So with this, we've got some past life energies coming up at the moment. There's a little bit to integrate to do with, there's different thoughts and mindsets around what you may want on a spiritual level to what you feel that you can have on a physical level. So we've got there's also like the masculine and feminine too, so really like looking into balance around that. We also have Nut, the mother sky goddess, who's this beautiful blue goddess. So she's kind of like a provider for her children. You can see the children here, or that fertility energy. Sometimes this will also come up in representing working with like a new business idea. So that's another energy too. The orange represents standing in confidence, and that's the overall background theme of this card. There is possibly something birthing, I do feel, in regards to future. So perhaps writing down like in a notebook if there's anything, but it does feel like positive energy. I feel that it is something to do with an alignment. Would be interesting to look into the astrology side of things for you as well and see like where all of your planets are connected to do with like what we were just talking about at the start. So if you missed the start, please go back to the start. And also I should say, because October is such a doozy of a month when it comes to astrology, I've got a code on my that you can enter into my booking page on my website. So this is for the one-on-one 1 hour readings, and it will be $10 off, and the code is all in caps, and it's called OC. So OC, Oct. Hold on a sec. Just trying to remember what it is. Oh, I think it was Astro, ASTRO, October. So using that code, and I've also put it on my Facebook page. You will see that just sort of down in my post line just a little bit. But yeah, Astro, ASTRO, October, and it will get you $10 off a reading as well. So that's also good if anyone wanted to look into anything one-on-one, because we do aura drawings. We also do the cards, and we also work with chatting to your guides too. Oh, and Lisa's just said she's just purchased these cards as well. All right, so Nadine Campbell, let's have a look. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So you're saying, evening, Solreta. If drawn to me any message I need to hear at this time, travel to NZ to care for my mum who's not well. All right, so what I am seeing is the angels are standing around her, and there's a blue, the word they're giving me is celestial. There's like a real celestial grace around her. So I'm not sure if you've been asking for the angels to, you know, surround her and protect her and just be with her. But I do see like a team, and it looks like that there's 3 to 5. I feel like there's 3 that are sort of standing close behind her head and 2 that are like one either side around her. So they're definitely present. The energy that I see with that is beautiful, sort of like silver and white, and a beautiful kind of like celestial light blue as well. It's really, really pretty. Celestial light is also a beautiful stone for her to work with at the moment for healing. The other thing that I'm feeling in regards to that is my stomach's actually not feeling the best when I start to tune into her energy. So I'm not sure if there's some kind of like toxicity or something like impacting around the bowels and stomach area. And I'm feeling it sort of like around liver and around chest. So this could be something like to do with like lymph. Sometimes this is also like we can get a little bit of swelling and different things too. But I just feel like I want to like flush it out of my system is the energy that I get around that. So let's have a look into this card. Okay, so what I'm actually seeing is just you being present with your mum and just sitting with her, and even just holding her hands at times. I feel like spirit is just saying to be totally present in that time that you have with your mum, and it's almost like everything else in all of the dimensions is stopping. And what I'm feeling is that you're wanting to help her and you're wanting to get things done, but spirit saying no. It's actually just really important just to sit and have that one-on-one time, and have that kind of like family bonding time. That's what I'm sort of seeing as the most important. So let's flip this card. Yeah. So this is really, this card is the Princess of Wands. We have like sort of like a bit of heart energy coming up, and it feels sort of like a little bit of a fight in terms of like emotional turmoil. But we have this, I don't know which side, this side here. We have this beautiful little altar. So there's a little bit of Aries kind of energy. There's a flame burning, and there's the beautiful Christ consciousness rose that's here. The Aries, sometimes they can tend to be like more in the head. So with spirit saying like just to sit and just to kind of like be present and to rest, I feel like that's really important at the moment. And let's pick a card out of this other deck as well. Yeah. So we've got the card Unbound, and it says release soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. This is where I also feel like just that presence, like just be in the moment. So this is really kind of, I guess, working like on the spiritual side of things too. So let's also see, just quickly, because these are new cards. So it says releasing soul patterns, contracts, past lives. It's time to release old soul stories. So this could be like why they're talking about, just being present with her as well. And it says you've been playing, time to release old stories that you may have been playing out in life. They're coming up to be healed. There has never been a safer time to clear these patterns right now. Take a look at the patterns in your life that they are ready to release. Ancient vows, contracts, and your soul may have made have an expiry date. It could be a vow of silence or chastity or poverty. It's time to unwind from them. This is the life in which you free yourself from the trauma of the past. And I keep just hearing spirit say, just be present, just be present. So taking that into account as well. What old ways of being have expiry date. When you name them, you claim them, and they stop holding power over you. When acknowledge these old patterns, it's important to acknowledge how they served you up until now. For example, soul pattern of playing small may have caused a soul fear of being seen or sharing your voice would have served by keeping you safe. In order to grow, you now need to soften to receiving the calling in support. It's time to unbind from the old ways of being that no longer are sustainable. So it's really just talking about like, hand over your heart, release your old soul stories, vows, contracts, and patterns and lessons, and, accept the gifts that have come with it. So I'm not sure if that comes up in connection to do with your mum and probably some family dynamics. I feel like you've got a really good heart and you're just there for her though on a spirit level. So this could also represent a different part. Okay, so Belinda Pellegrino, anything for you? Let's have a look, Belinda. All right, so what I'm seeing when I start to tune into your energy, Belinda, is a direct line to, let's just use the word like heaven or universe, or that divine creator energy. I'm seeing like this white gossamer thread or gossamer line. And what spirit is laughing, saying you've got like a direct downline from source to you. And they're just talking about like taking advantage of that. And I'm seeing like Archangel Michael joke. He's like pulling on it and looking up. So this is about like your own spiritual and personal connection. Spirit's really wanting to bring this attention to you, especially this year. They're talking about going inward. So if there's been kind of like chaos or anything happen around you, this is really a time to go within. Flip this card. Yeah, we've got the card of the Empress. So this is really about self-nurturing. It's kind of like a little bit of a mother maternal energy. It has cycles and times also within this. We have this beautiful swan, which also represents that psychic side that we were just talking about to do with going within. You can see that she sort of sits like on the border of two worlds in a way, or that she's kind of like sitting within the earth. So this can also relate to Mother Earth, to Gaia energy. The other thing that we have as well is the beautiful caretaking that she's doing of her gorgeous baby swans. And we also have this this phoenix energy showing up in the shield. It's sort of like a double phoenix energy too. But this is more about rebirth on an inner soul level, or, you know, thinking about like recreating yourself. And I'm not sure like whereabouts you are based, but like say for example, if you're coming out of Melbourne, it's like, what do you want to come out of lockdown with? Or what do you want to come out of like this whole weird year that we've had? You know, do you wish to have like an extra skill? Is there, you know, some kind of inner work that you want to have done? Or like have completed by the time we come out? Or is it just like you feel like you want to come out with like a revamped, you know, different style, or that, you know, different hair, something like that? I feel like it's about really connecting to you at the moment and really like regaining that strength, because I feel like they're preparing you to kind of like take on the world in a way. I also see yourself giving care to others around, so maybe perhaps you may not have put yourself first. So I hope that that helps. All right, so Luther. Hello, ma'am. May I ask, is my crush Patrice shy towards me? I told her I miss her on Facebook chat. Okay, let's have a look for you, Luther. What I'm actually seeing is I'm actually getting taken outside of Facebook, and I'm getting taken out into real world, and I'm seeing like a lot of yellow energy, and I'm just hearing the word sunny disposition. I feel like there may be possibly like a past pattern in terms of like seeking out relationships that don't kind of like validate or don't show up for you. It's like you may give more energy compared to like what's given to you, because I feel like you have a really good heart, and that you like to sort of like shower with attention or shower with flowers, things of that kind of nature. And I feel to sort of like broaden your scope and broaden your horizon. It doesn't mean that this person won't sort of like acknowledge or, you know, come back in chat or anything, but Spirit's just saying to kind of like widen the net at the moment. So let's flip this card for you. Okay, this is interesting. So we've got the card of ruin. So what I did see was sort of like this yellow gold energy in regards to like broadening the horizons outside of Facebook as well in the real world. This may also be, they're talking about sometimes tightly like holding love, that it almost feels like a little bit restricted. So they're talking about freeing up, or like realizing if you feel that you're sort of stepping into this energy, because it is about balance. And we do have the energy of the sun in this card too at the top. So this is really kind of like just like shaking things up a little bit and looking at some other options, because I feel like when you sort of like loosen your grip, or like you're not pulling the fishing rod in after you've kind of cast it out, you actually get a lot more fish come in, is what I'm seeing. So they're talking about changing the attitude of which you're magnetizing people towards you. So I hope that that helps. For anyone wanting deeper answers too, we can look at things one-on-one. We only have a short amount of time. Oh my gosh, it's already going fast tonight, so I'm going to try and answer as many as I can. Okay, Amanda Stevens, I feel at this point of awakening messages in my dreams, and would love a card to elaborate further, please. All right, let's see. Okay, so this is for you, Amanda, and we just had a card jump out. I'm just hearing the word trust come up as well. I feel like there's things, and I'm just like getting spirit go like this, kind of like shaking and like ruffling. I just feel like there's like this wild kind of like cosmic energy at the moment. So whether you feel like there's something that you want to like put your passion in, put your creativity in, there's something Kundalini wise around. So looking into like what it is that you could flow energy into, because I feel like your intuition and everything is really strong at the moment too. So I'll just see what else we get come up. But yeah, spirit's going like this with the hair. Okay, they're also showing me coming to a point of stillness. So practicing like focal point meditation. And what I mean by that is when you bring yourself into kind of like an alpha brainwave state, or you're using binaural beats to kind of enhance or pop you into like that hypnotic trance, then start to gently like focus your attention possibly like around third eye or around brow bone, and gently kind of like bring your soft gaze to here. when you're in that state. And they're talking about like opening up this visionary part of yourself, because I feel not only are you getting messages in your dreams, and I feel like you get outside confirmation. So whether it's you come across synchronicity, like a number sequence, or an animal spirit guide that confirms something happening in your dream, or an intuition that you felt, because I feel like things are making sense at the moment. It's like, say if I picked up a handful of charms and I threw them, it's like there might be like a story form within those pictograms. So looking into messages like in coffee cup at the moment, things like that are really, really important. Asking for signs, because I feel spirit is showing you signs. And this ruffling, like with the head, I'm hearing them say Kundalini too. So I feel like this is a spiritual awakening of Kundalini energy. So let's flip this. This is cool. This is the card of lust. And look at her higher self. Oh, just here, we've got that taking action. There's something that she's birthing or bringing to the surface. There is sort of like the quietening of everything. So this is that focused kind of like pinpointed mind that we were talking about. So the lady on the lion with all of the, I guess, the other heads of the animals and things happening is sort of like quietening that monkey mind, or quietening, that inner dialogue or inner voices to bring to that pinnacle point of focus. So we do have a little bit of that you're working with. So I hope that helps. But yeah, really focus on working with psychic development at the moment. So Brooke Jasmine Neal. Hi Solreta, can I please have a card for my love life and guidance on how to move forward? All right, sweetheart. All right, so as soon as I start to go into picking a card for you, I do have a lot of green energy come up. You have like a big sense of maturity when it comes to love, and you have such a pure heart, and the word they're giving me is grace when it comes around love as well. I feel like possibly at the moment it might not be being met with the same match. In terms of like in the past there may have been a pattern for what you put out, you might not get back in return so much. So this is about raising standards, is the energy that I'm starting to feel around this. And I see like inner questionings and things happening, or perhaps you're left kind of thinking about things some nights, because I feel even if there has been someone around, I still feel like there's a sense of solitude and kind of like an alone type feeling. So I'm going to flip this card. This is interesting, because we have this card, the Prince of Wands, which is Chariot, which is kind of moving forward. It's like Leo energy. It's like rising from the ashes. It's kind of that Phoenix energy. It's got the energy of the sun. So it's sort of like about transmutation. It's about like recreating yourself too. So the energy that's holding you back around that is kind of like yourself. We've got this, the High Priestess. Yeah. So we've got this beautiful priestess who's all about like manifesting and bringing things from the spirit down onto the earth plane. So bringing things from up here onto the earth plane. Then the card that we have to kind of bring this energy into the present and into now, because I feel like you're holding yourself back. This is where I was questioning like whether it was around standards, because you have the ability to manifest great things. Yeah, this is interesting. So Princess of Swords, see how she's sort of on a little tower, but it's so small that she could hop off if she wanted to. So we have this green, which is that heart energy, which is what I was saying, like you put your heart into things and it's not always matched, but there's the intellect come into this too. There's a lot of like thinking about like heart and thinking about, things that possibly didn't work out, where you really actually need to step back into alignment with who it is that you are on a soul level, which is really this card, the Priestess. Remember who you are, remember your power, really like feel into this activation, work with the magnetics of the heart. So it might be about looking into like heart meditation and heart third eye synchronization, and really start to like write a list of what it is that you desire in terms of like for love life and around like moving forward. And what I'm actually seeing is like you pulling a rope. It's like, I'm going to magnetically pull them to me. No more like having to be the one to do all of the work. I feel like you're pulling them to you in regards to the future side of things. So I hope that that helps. Oh, so Nadine saying, that's beautiful. Thank you, Mum. So your mum has stomach cancer. So this is the area that Spirit was taking us as well. I'm just sending you and your family so much love, and just knowing that those angels are around you. You had 5 angels standing around your mum. Um, yeah, I just, yeah, sending you so much love right now. And how beautiful is it that you're there for your mum? Oh, good. And you've got your family there too. That's wonderful. Yeah, we're all sending, Naomi's saying we're sending healing and love to your beautiful mama. We are. That's what I love about this group. You've all just got the biggest hearts. It makes me feel teary. Just feeling the energy that you all bring. It's so sweet. Oh, and you're doing your own spiritual healing too. Perfect. Um, Kirsty Bain, first time, Forest Glen, need guidance. Make sure I'm on the right path. So, Kirsty, let's pick a card for you. All right. So the energy that I'm sort of getting with you, Kirsty, come in is, say we have like a radio station. So a radio station will come in on one kind of like wave. So say if we're talking about electricity, it might be like 60 hertz or something like that. I'm seeing 3 frequencies come in. And what I'm sort of feeling is that sort of like energy where it's like, oh, I can't sit still. I'm finding it really hard to focus. And then I feel like my body's getting distracted, and then that's distracting